BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, my mission is to empower you to find financial freedom through crypto assets. If that sounds good, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications while you're at it. We got a really exciting show for you guys today. We're going to be taking a look at a big legal case that actually is really good for your crypto when it comes to taxes and staking. You're definitely going to want to hear this. We are going to look at one of the most disgusting articles I've ever seen written, and then we're going to plunge into the comment section. And I will tell you, it is a scary, dark abyss of misinformation out there about crypto. We're also going to be taking a look at, Solana maybe having a bigger pullback. Meta lost $10 million last quarter on their, virtual reality endeavors and things like that. But we're going to start the show off. We're going to do things a little bit different. We have George from Cryptos R Us on the channel. So we're going to talk to him about the first three topics here. Let's see what's going on here so we can get him pulled up. All right, George, how goes it?
Hey, Ben, how's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Things were probably a little bit better the last time we chatted on a video when, markets were a little more bullish than they are right now. But wanted to bring you on just so everybody knows, if people are watching your channel, we had to ban We Are George from the chat one time because they were just spamming it so much. So if you guys are doing that, it's just too much for us to go dig around and find that. But we love George. We love Cryptos R Us. It's a great channel. You guys should check it out. We should have the link down in the description. We'll even pin it over here in the chat for you guys to make sure to subscribe if you don't follow them already. If you don't know, kind of, me and George have known each other for a long time, but, it was really the F2 mining pool stuff that you dug up that really got me, interested in a lot of your research. But if you could, talk a little bit about your channel. You've been in the space for a long time and, kind of how this year has been for you just as a person making videos.
Yeah, sure. It's been quite a long journey. So, I think I got in around the same time you did, Ben. I got in late 2017 in terms of creating this channel, but
Yeah.
been in crypto a little bit longer than that. I started mining in 2013, and into 2014 when that bubble burst, and I was actually mining Litecoin. That's why I love Litecoin so much. People who watch me know that I love Charlie and Litecoin. But obviously through crypto winter, survived 2017, survived the next crypto winter, right? 18, 19, 20, but kept making videos, kept holding strong and helping audience see that we do go through these cycles, up and downs, right? And I think we have more tools now than we've ever had before.
For sure.
That's how I was able to find F2 Pool and all the dumping that they were doing, because previous cycles, we couldn't see that. There was very little transparency. But now we do have the tools. And I'm glad that, you brought F2 Pool up. You helped bring a lot of attention to that. And in hindsight, they were probably dumping because they knew what China was going to do. That's probably why they were doing it.
Very
so they probably had some heads up. So they were doing it before everyone else. But that's the thing with these tools and metrics. I think a lot of us are utilizing them to show that Bitcoin is still healthy and the network is healthy. The liquid supply going up and the reserves dropping. That's real. That's not made up. We can measure all of this, and we can measure whale activity. We can measure the buying. We can measure the manipulation when a large amount gets deposited into Bitfinex or BitMax or wherever because the whales are trying to dump on the market, right? We could see all that. So that's the great thing about now versus before. There's just a lot more transparency, and we could utilize those tools for our benefit and help educate everyone that's in this space. But yeah, I mean that's kind of my brief story, and been been doing very well, especially in 2021. Channel growth obviously well, but also crypto growth, and now we're seeing little downturn, but like I've been telling everyone, we will get through it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely gonna talk about that here in just a second. One thing you said that I thought was really interesting, which is the tools that people have available right now. It's unparalleled to what people previously had in crypto, but even the education that your channel does, my channel, a lot of the other channels here on YouTube, people that have been around in crypto for a long time. I know when I first bought Bitcoin in 2012, and I didn't hold it because I didn't know what it was, and there were not the educational resources out there. And it seems like both of us in 2017 we kind of looked around and said it doesn't seem like the level of crypto education is where it needs to be, and really inspiring the way that you plugged at it. I think you actually lost your channel for a while at some point. Do I remember that correctly?
Oh yeah,
It was like 3 months or something.
yeah.
It was a long time.
I think I had it worse than any other YouTuber because I lost my channel around the same time a lot of other guys were losing their channel. I think you even lost it one
Yeah.
time, but everyone that lost their channel got it back within a day or a week. But mine it was just forever. I don't know why. I think I know because as soon as I lost my channel, someone else named their channel Cryptos Are Us. So I think YouTube kept looking at that and like, oh, the channel's back, but it's really not. And it wasn't until I actually got in touch with someone that actually worked inside YouTube to really take a look at it. Then they're like, okay, we need to suspend that channel and bring your channel back. I
Yeah.
think that's what happened. But for 3 months, it was tough. It's tough. I mean, here's the thing, and I think most people know this. People want a better decentralized version of YouTube, right?
Absolutely.
And we are all looking forward to that day. But
It's
right
not here
now,
yet.
unfortunately, there's just no good viable alternative.
If you want people to watch
Um,
your videos, if you want the message to get
right.
out there, unfortunately, this is the hand we've been dealt. But definitely, it
Yeah.
was really cool to see you get that back though, and then chugging along with your channel, doing great stuff. Let's talk about crypto. Let's talk about the current market right now. Obviously, the market is a little bit blah. A couple of weeks ago, it felt maybe a little more bearish than it feels right now. I
Mhm.
was pretty confident we were going to be going down much further. I'm kind of
Mhm.
waning on that. Now I'm feeling like it's about 50-50. We might have another run left. Do you think we've got another run left in this bull cycle, or do you think the cycles are over? We're just in these little mini cycles, or what is your kind of feeling about the direction where Bitcoin is heading for the rest of this year?
It's tough. I guess it's how you define a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, we have all defined it within this 4 year span, right? And that's because of the halving event that happens every 4 years. However, 2021, 2022, I think really disrupted things. We never had that blow off top. We never really had that end of year run, and um, that's because of what we're going through right now. Because
Yeah.
of inflation, the printing is starting to taper off. The Fed getting worried about everything that they have done to sustain the economy. So I feel like this cycle has been broken or just simply extended. And a lot of people talk about lengthening cycles. You can attribute to that, but I think the cycle has been kind of extended forward. And I guess my view of the cycle is now different. I just view, is Bitcoin going to continue upwards? And my view on that is yes. Yes, it will. Okay. So in terms of my view of the bull run, I still believe it's ongoing, especially based on all the metrics I just talked about, measuring the network activity,
Mm-hmm.
measuring the hash power, which is at an all-time high, right? Measuring the reserves on exchanges dropping, measuring the liquid supply, the number of Bitcoin that's off and held in cold wallets keeps increasing, right? So I combine all of that and I'm like, yeah, this run is going to continue. However, I'm not oblivious to what's happening right now. So I would say that we're in a bear trend. That obviously we have come down 50%, and some altcoins are down 60 and 70% already. And it's very similar to what happened in 2021. We saw the same thing happen in May, June, July. right? So it's not something that we haven't seen before. It's not something like, oh, it happened 3 years ago in 2018. No, we just saw it not too long ago, just a few months ago, right? But I do say short term, because of the situation we're in, it's iffy. It's iffy because
Yeah.
I've been making this correlation a lot recently. Whenever the Nasdaq goes down, Bitcoin goes down. Nasdaq goes up, Bitcoin goes up. Because a lot of the Wall Street guys are treating Bitcoin as if it was a tech stock, and it's not. But they are treating it that way.
Tech stock's not
They're
doing
treating
great
it
right
as
now.
a risk on asset, and unfortunately, we're getting that correlation. But we will break through it. They will come to their senses. Everyone that's sold off, they have cash on the side, waiting and waiting and waiting. And one thing that's always a sure trade, I would say, is when everyone is bearish, that's when you want to be bullish.
Yeah.
And it does feel like everyone is bearish at this point.
Well, the thing in 2018 when the price started dropping, I mean, people were still bullish and thinking it was going to bounce back all the way until it, I think went below $6,000. Then people were like, okay, maybe it's going to be longer than I thought. I think when you look at the cycles, it's impossible to know where we're at this exact moment at any given time. The cycles are really a thing. And this is what I was really humbled by all this, because I thought we were going to call the top. I thought it was happening this year. I think most of us thought, or in 2021, most of us thought that. Most of us thought it was hitting 100K. We didn't imagine where we're at right now. But a lot of us were humbled by what actually happened. It was just a good reminder that those pretty charts that we look at from 2012, 2013, 2016, 2017, the bear markets in between, they're spoken for. They're done. They're a spot on a timeline where we group and we say, this was a bear market, this was a bull market. We don't know where we're at right now. You really don't know until you look back in retrospect. That's the only way to really know a top or a bottom, is to look back at the market and say, okay, well, this obviously was a top and this was a bottom. We talk about the $3,200 bottom for Bitcoin in December 2018. We talk about the March pandemic crash, I think down to about 3,700, somewhere along those lines. But it's very interesting. We could possibly be seeing the cycles totally be broken right now, and just, not really be able to base predictions going forward on that. And it's definitely a fascinating time. And I think something you said was key when you're looking at the people trading it like tech stocks and the new financial products and the institutions that are in, that may have something to do with it. And, this may also be why we are seeing so many of the on-chain indicators bullish. When hash rate is at all-time highs, generally the price of Bitcoin is on a huge upswing. We're not seeing that right now. So maybe that's playing into this as well. If the cycles are broken, then maybe we're going to see, more, averse action to what we've seen in the past, because it's really unexplainable to look at, a lot of the whale addresses. When you look at the MVRV, when you look at the NVT, when you look at the Nupal, when you look at all of these different indicators, the hash rate, of course, as well, they seem to be really bullish, but we're just not getting that action. So interesting time. So I want to ask you about, I know you got kind of a time crunch here, so we got about 7 minutes left here. I want to know what your thoughts are on altcoins. I know you're a big altcoin guy. I know Solana is one you've talked about. I think Harmonies, some you've covered in the past. A lot of similar coins. We like a lot of the same things. I want to know, like, for this year, where things are at, what coins are you kind of looking at this current moment in time?
Well, there's a group that I call big caps, basically ones that's broken above 10 billion in market cap. Solana is one of them, but I'm stressing more caution with Solana these days because of the large number of coins held by VCs, which I think has contributed to their tremendous rise in 2021. Because when you have a large amount that's being bought by the VCs and a large amount that's off the exchanges, of course, this will help. But I think a lot of them have decided to sell off too because of the current market conditions. So that's why Solana is a little bit weaker recently. And of course, they have been having a lot of network outages, and this recent hack with their bridge, it's not a good look. But I still support them. I think Sam Bankman-Fried is still very bullish on Solana, and of course FTX, and they have a tight relationship. So I think that's going to definitely help them still. But there's many others. I think people are giving up on Ethereum when they shouldn't. You know, there's still a lot going for Ethereum. Let's not forget, like 99% of NFT volume is on Ethereum. Okay, so it's not gonna go away anytime soon. It's the
And if I could make a quick point on that, number one, I totally agree with you with Solana. I believe a lot of that money's going to come out of Solana and flow into FTT. But what I really want to say here is about Ethereum. I still think it's going to be the top platform. I think ETH 2.0 is going to launch at some point. It will remain number one. I think the battle is for number two and number three. And what we've seen from Cardano and also Solana, it's not as easy as they think to make these layer one protocols run smoothly. And I think this really speaks to, just how incredible what Ethereum has done, even in the midst of all the problems it has had with congestion.
That's exactly right. I mean, as big as these projects are, they're still so early. Many of them just completed their mainnet, right? And now they're onboarding billions and billions of dollars worth of liquidity on them, and they have millions of users using them. So there's bound to be issues, right? And everyone's trying to figure it out from either a governance standpoint or a scalability standpoint or liquidity standpoint. Different chains are doing different things and trying, right? And you have someone like, for example, you mentioned Cardano, who is struggling with scaling right now. And Sunday Swap is not the fastest AMM out there.
Right.
But one thing that they can claim is that the network has never been down or out, right? They haven't had a major network outage, where Solana, which is very, very, very fast, had like 6 of them within the last 6 months, right? Yeah. So which one is better? So there's no right or wrong, but it's just an example how there's many things to look at, right? Stability, scalability, viability, governance. There's a lot of things. Yeah. And I think you're right. Ethereum has the best balance of everything right now. So I think they're going to continue to be a major player unless they really can't figure out scaling. Ethereum 2.0 is around the corner, but that's not going to solve their scaling altogether. No. They still have to utilize some kind of layer 2, like a ZK rollup solution or something like that. And then they go implement something else down the road. And Vitalik said, I think it's going to take 6 more years until it's fully done. And that scared some people, but it's part of evolution, right? And it does show how early these chains are. And there's several other ones. I like Terra a lot. I do like Harmony. I think Polygon is a force to be reckoned with.
Love Polygon.
Polygon is basically stealing a lot of Ethereum's thunder right now. And there's many other ones that I do like in the space.
What about Phantom?
What did you say, Phantom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like Phantom. I think Phantom is interesting because their DeFi offering is off the charts. I mean, if you look at something like Spooky Swap and some of the Spirit Swap and some of the other stuff that has come on board, there's just a lot. I think it's because Andre Cronje, because he's such a DeFi guy and he's the architect for Phantom's DeFi ecosystem, and he himself have created many other projects, and there are a lot of synergies. So I think Phantom is definitely a good one too.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, a lot of people in our chat are big on Phantom. That's one that, somebody tried to get me in on that very early. Like, you need to go all in on Phantom. Like, I'm telling you, it's gonna pop. And then, you learn. You live and you learn, I guess, on that one. So we do have some holdings, I think, in Phantom now. But same thing for Terra Luna. That was one that we missed. Polygon, we definitely didn't miss, though. I think, what you said about Polygon being a heavy hitter, that ties right back into the Ethereum conversation. We're still going to need layer 2s. Like, think about this. You can always have faster transactions. And the reason for that is simple. When we look at Visa and their amount of transactions, they're all payments, right? In the world of blockchain, every action is a transaction. So it's not just like people purchasing things. It's people sending from this address to that address, or like games. A lot of the games, they take, like, you have to do basically a transaction to be able to move on to the next level or the next step of the game. So it's not just like people paying for things. I think that's what people haven't really wrapped their mind around. That's why the scaling is so important. There's going to be way more transactions in the world of crypto than in the world of traditional finance. So what do you think about that?
I think that's right. I think that's right. I mean, this is all part of Web 3.0. Okay, just like people laughed at Web 1.0 when people speculated that we'll do billions of dollars of e-commerce on the internet, and people laughed at it and saying that's not possible, right? And then discredit it. And Web 3.0 is kind of like going after everything, the financial institutions too, right? So can Bitcoin's network outperform Visas? Well, it already has more volume. So
Right.
yes, can all these other guys, scale and replace banks and everything that we have in terms of centralized lending and loans and mortgages and stuff? It's early, but can it happen? Yeah. Can it eat up all the volume? Sure. All these things can come. It's just we're very early, but that's why we want to be in it, right? We don't want to be in it after all this occurs. Then there's no money to be made. You want to be in early.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a beautiful way to put it. I think that we're heading to a really exciting place. Where the markets are today, they don't feel that great when you wake up in the morning and you look at your portfolio and it's either at the same place or it's up 1% or down 1%. I know it's not as exciting as the thick of upward action, but still may have another run left in us. We'll have to see. But regardless, we're definitely going to have another run at some point, whether it comes in this year, next year, or 2024, sometime in that range. We are going to get the run back up. Hopefully for people watching YouTube videos, it comes sooner rather than later. But George, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know you got to run. Everybody, make sure to check out the pinned comment in the live chat. If you're watching afterwards, we'll have the link down in the description. Make sure to go subscribe to George's channel. And we look to having you on again in the future.
All right. Thanks for having me on. Take care.
All right. Thanks, George. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, the link is in the chat. It's in the description. We tweeted it out, so there should be links everywhere. I know a couple people already said they subscribed. So, yeah, George does a really good job, has a lot of really good content, and great for the space.
Yeah. Me and George agree with about so much stuff. I love it. I mean, I think he gets it. And he's been here for a long time. And, we actually met each other the same day I met Jay Chains.
Really?
We actually met each other at a crypto conference in Chicago in September of 2018. And, I said he had his channel taken down for a long time. And this has been such a great year to see him really, get the credit he deserves. He does a lot of great research. Friend of the channel. And, he's very bullish on altcoins. And, he knows how to pick winners. And I think that is a good thing. And he's a good guy. I think that's, the most important thing. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and move to Crypto Watch. Guys, don't forget, right before we get there, though, let me move that down. Make sure you are following us on Twitter. 803,000 followers over here. We pinned the information for our meetup. All you got to do is go to this link, our pinned tweet. This is our Los Angeles meetup. Southern California meetup will be in Santa Monica next week. Click on the Eventbrite to get all the details, the exact location. Gives you a little layout of, how things are going to go. It's from 5 to 8. Register. It's absolutely free to register for this. We don't charge anything. We do these meetups for the community, but we need to know about how many people are going to be there. So if you are planning on coming, please make sure, we had a pretty accurate number. I think we had 650 people sign up for the last meetup. We had between 550 and 600 people there. So it was pretty close. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button, especially if you like when we bring other people on. Got a lot of great interviews for you guys coming up here over the next few weeks. And we're going to continue doing more interviews on the live stream. Won't always be at the very beginning of the show like it was today. We actually have an Olympian coming on tomorrow. That'll probably be at the end of tomorrow's show. Opening day of the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, which is also the opening day of the digital yuan. Excited about that?
No.
Will it get the gold medal?
No.
Guys, we got 6,700 people watching right now, about 1,500 likes. You can do us a favor, stop what you're doing, smash the like button. It really helps us. Let's try to get at least to 4,000 today. If you're watching on mobile, make sure to X out of the live chat, hit the like button, then come back in. If you're watching on smart TV, bottom left-hand corner of your screen, more actions, more options, and then make sure to hit react and then the like button. All right, let's go here. CoinGecko. CoinGecko had some kind of big announcement today. Do you know what that was?
No.
They sent me a push notification. Let me, since we're here, let me click news and see what they got going on today. Something just came out. It came from them directly. So maybe it's about, they do launch pads on CoinGecko. Did you know that?
No, not surprised, but
No, I didn't know you could buy crypto on CoinMarketCap.
I didn't either.
We probably covered it before, and we probably actually at one point knew, like when it got announced.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would never buy off of CoinMarketCap, and it buys from Binance. We had a guy at our meetup who said that he actually bought, I think it was XRP through CoinMarketCap, and somehow they let him buy it, but he can't access his account because it's a Binance.com account.
Yeah.
So, I told him just contact support. If you ever have problems with Binance, contact support. That's going to be your best option. But as far as the market goes today, guys, $1.785 trillion. We are down 1.4%. 90 billion in volume, so a little bit better in volume. I mean, that's basically because we did get a small decrease in price. It kind of played out exactly like we were looking at yesterday with Frankie Candles. Bitcoin dominance down a little bit today, 39.2%. Look at that way. Wow. For a mere 53.5 Paraguays, you can send an ETH transaction. Very interesting ETH conversation we have there. A lot of interesting stuff coming up for Ethereum. Bitcoin coming in basically $37,000. Still up for the week. Ethereum still up 7.2% for the week at 26.46. Has been holding here pretty tough. Binance Coin 368, Cardano $1.05, XRP at 60 cents, Solana under $1. We're going to look at a Solana story when we get to our crypto quickies. And what else was? There was another coin I wanted to mention. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was Solana. But yeah, that's what's going on in the markets. Look at the biggest gainers of the day. Biggest gainers of the day. We have Immutable X. Oh, I just talked about it yesterday, didn't I?
Wow, nice.
37.7%. Did we cause that? Where did we talk about that on?
We talked about it on the stream.
On the live stream?
Just to mention, it's what
Yeah. Do we even own any?
We do.
Actually. We do own some.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
People think I'm some kind of like mastermind, and I know like exactly how much of everything we have at any given moment. Most of the time, I like to do those portfolio update videos because I get to find out what's in my portfolio. I think that's good.
Now we bought it on a dip. Like it pumped all the way up to almost $10, and then came way back down. And I think we bought it a few weeks ago. So,
okay, today is the 3rd.
probably
So yeah, when we covered it yesterday, it was down here. It went up steady, dropped, and then went up again. So they must have some big news or something. Absolutely nothing to do with our mention for sure.
probably Gary V is a big Immutable X guy.
Is he?
Yeah, that's what they do with a lot of their a lot of that VV and a lot of the V Friends stuff
Yeah.
that they're doing. I think is through Immutable X. So it's probably he's the one that's putting a lot of attention on that for sure.
No, I had a weird thought here. Is Gary V the owner of VFriends?
Yeah, that's his NFT project for sure.
Oh, it's his, and that he's allowed to talk about it?
Yeah, he promotes it a lot.
Wow, that's so weird that he promotes his own NFT project. That's insane. Sorry, I'm just trolling those folks on Twitter still. Okay. We had some other movers going on. We had a Quant with a big upward swing. Quant, a project we do like. Hedera, actually, we're looking at some news. Well, I just pulled it up right now.
There you go. Immutable X announced a partnership with GameStop.
Oh, IMX and GameStop. Okay.
And supposedly Ubisoft and Hedera Hashgraph.
Well, here it's right here.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Ubisoft joins Hedera Governing Council. I want to get in on. I want to join the Hedera Governing Council. No, I do. I think this has to do with something in Texas, if I remember correctly. Or is that a different council that Hedera is in?
It might be. It might be the crypto.
Let's look this up. What is the Hedera Governing Council?
Oh, also I saw, Hedera or Animoca brands.
Animoca? Yeah.
And partnered with Hedera for gaming NFT projects, which is interesting as well.
Yeah. That's pretty good. So here it is. These are all the people that make up Hedera is owned and governed by the world's leading organizations. Google, Boeing, Chainlink. There's Chainlink. Standard Bank. Ubisoft now is on this list here, as you can see now. EDF, Denton's, Douche Telecom. Look at that, Douche Telecom. Okay, they got some banks involved. And what is it with Hedera in Texas? Hedera in Texas. Highland and Hedera hash graph present blockchain proof of concept for records verification. Hedera is working with the state of Texas, but I thought the state of Texas was involved in that governing council somewhere.
I think
the Texas Blockchain Council.
They were making their own.
So many councils.
Yeah.
You know?
Everybody wants to be the council.
Well, that's exciting for Hedera. We like Hedera. It's a great project. You know, I think Hedera and Algorand, those are two projects that I almost listed in our top coins for the year. I think they're going to have massive breakouts sooner rather than later. So, especially if the market, you know, heads back up in the right direction. But it'll be really interesting to see what coins will decouple during a bear market. We don't know what they'll be. I mean, we assume maybe Sandbox might be one. FTT may be one. They're emerging as some candidates. But, you know, if we are going to a bear market, Chainlink absolutely crushed it during the bear market. Some other coins did as well. So, you know, keep your mind or keep your focus on the projects that are out there doing big stuff. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at charts for just a quick second here. Okay. Price of Bitcoin coming in. Frank loves all these charts, man. I came in last night. I was working late last night, working on some stuff for a lawsuit coming after somebody. But anyways, the point here is that Frankie Candles, I heard something in here. I was like, what is going on? It's like 8 o'clock. He was in here doing his live stream.
Nice.
And I walked in. He had full command of that live stream. Frankie's doing such a great job with his channel. You guys make sure you subscribe to his channel. He's giving a lot of great analysis and creating a good community. Is Frank in here right now?
Frank, you in here? Frankie.
Oh, yeah. See, he's being quiet. He's like, the boss is talking about me. I love it. But Frank's doing a good job. So anyways, I'm not going to like try to decipher all of his lines on the chart here other than to say, you know, on the 3-day chart, you know, we're holding support here. I like to look at the daily chart a pretty good bit. I've been looking at that 3-day chart a lot lately as well, because that is the one that seems to be printing a lot of, you know, signs that things can be going up. We basically held support yesterday. We're right now coming in 36.6. I think it dropped down to 36.3 was the low. Yeah. No. Oh, that's the daily chart. Today it dropped down to where? 36.3. Yeah, 36.3 is the low. It says up there on the corner. 36,264 is where it dropped down to. So, you know, I think ultimately for Bitcoin right now, it's just boring to look at the charts. You know, the sideways action is not, you know, super sexy. It's just not. And I told you guys yesterday, I'm okay with Bitcoin going down at this point a little bit. It will still remain bullish as long as we don't pierce 33K. And then we would still have to have a retest of the $28.5 thousand level to really confirm that we would be in a bear market or on a longer term downtrend. And still could be a possibility, could wick and come back up. But if it didn't come up in a day, then, you know, that would be a sure sign. I think we're in a bear market and a long-term downtrend. I think that's the more important part. What you guys have to realize, if we do go into a long-term downtrend with Bitcoin, when you bottom, it's not a quick ride up. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why people don't realize it. But, you know, 2019 was actually an extremely bullish year for Bitcoin from a price perspective. When you look at, you know, the beginning of 2019, you know, Bitcoin was reeling to get back over $6,000. And then, you know, during 2019, it hit $14,000. It hit $10,000. And I think ultimately at the end of the year, it was back around 7 or 8. But it was actually a bullish year from the bottom from December of 2018. It's just a slow ride. And you had so much excitement when price was going up that it doesn't feel bullish. People that come in during that time and buy at the bottom, man, they crush it. If you get a big position close to the bottom, then even if it is grinding up slowly, but the interest just isn't there when things aren't moving extremely quick. So Bronx Bitcoin Bull says, or Jimmy Void, sit down talking truth. Wow, that's quite the name, Jimmy. Frankie Candles, Consigliere, killing it, 100%. Boy Crypto to Boss. I like that. Let's start making admins. Let's ask. If you guys see somebody in the chat a lot and you want to nominate them as an admin, you guys do that in the chat. And then if you see some of the same names, let's do that. We only have a couple now over here on YouTube. We need to upgrade that. How low will Bitcoin go in 2022? Novogratz says it's going to be a very difficult year for crypto. So pretty interesting here. Mike Novogratz, a billionaire, believes the hawkish Fed has led to the current market downturn. We're going to look at that's, if we're seeing signs of a reversal here in a second. But the CEO believes that cryptos have already taken much of the beat down. He expects 2022 to be a tough year for the asset class. He disclosed 2022 would be a tough year. I love when they say the same thing twice. This is like the exact same sentence pretty much down here. And then this one is like the same for right here. I don't understand. A hawkish Fed. In an interview with CNBC, Mike Novogratz revealed that the Fed had taken a more hawkish position, meaning looking at raising rates, which has led to price correlations across different markets, including the crypto market. This was contrary to the Fed's hesitation to raise rates and reduce supply due to the economic impacts of the pandemic. He said the Fed has created an asset bubble, which saw spikes in the valuation of crypto assets. I saw an interesting chart on TikTok. Can't remember what the guy's name was, but he actually showed that right now we're building more new houses in America than the peak of the 2008 bubble.
Ooh, yeah.
A little sketch. Just gonna throwing that out there. A lot of people don't believe we're going to see a real estate bubble. I don't see how we're not. Now is it going to pop this year? I don't know. I think there's a good chance it does. I think there's a good chance that used car market and also the housing market takes a big hit.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to be a monumental crash like 2008, though. I really want to emphasize that because we look at 2008 as like epic meltdown, meltdown of epic proportions, you could say, with the market. When it came to housing, not all financial crises have that kind of, the housing bubble caused the crisis. So it was hit the hardest, if that makes sense. Right now, I don't think the housing market is driving. Inflation is driving what's happening now, and money printing.
The key difference there was back then they were using real estate loans to create new derivatives markets and borrowing and leveraging and leveraging and leveraging on loans that were basically bad loans. Yeah. And that's what caused that. Now they're doing it with student debt and a lot of other things.
Wait, I thought Biden forgave all that. Did he not forgive all student loan debt?
I don't know if that's true or not true. Well, my point is in 2009.
TJ, it's definitely not true. He said he would do it. Of course he didn't do it.
Oh, I would say I don't keep up with any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of the college kids on TikTok are mad about it, because basically that's why they voted for him, so they get to go to college for free. And then, he pretty much said, we're not going to really address that right now. You know how these
That's impossible. They can't do that.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait till we get to this MattDamonCrypto.com article. Oh my gosh. You are going. I was sitting there reading the comments this morning, thinking to myself, we are so, listen, here's hope for you guys. You're so much earlier than you think you are.
Yeah.
What the common, regular, everyday person thinks they know about crypto, it's mind-blowing. I don't even have words for it. We'll look at those comments. It's absolutely insane. So Fish up here, though, he said basically the stock market could be a lot worse. Meaning it could go down a lot further with selling. Bear markets are difficult to trade because you got big squeezes. Then we're going to have a lot of indigestion for the next 3 to 4 months in both equity markets. And I think we have had a lot in crypto markets. I can agree with that. I think maybe 3 or 4 months going to be rough, sideways, boring. Maybe we go back up to 40 and then back down to 35 again, or back up to 44 and back down to 38. It just feels like the doldrums. We stay at 38 for a whole month, give or take a few $1,000s. But he says that, 2022 is not started out as bullish as a lot of people thought that it, would happen. A lot of people thought we were going to, see a similar, bullish pattern to the start of every year since 2018. The first week of the year effect, we saw the opposite. Just when you think you got Bitcoin figured out, it humbles you. And I think that's a really important message for a lot of us who make content on YouTube with crypto. Been a humbling experience seeing the price go a totally different direction. And I would say 95% of people thought that it was going to go. Blockchain backer called the top. He's going to be on the show on Tuesday. So, we got one of those people. Still expect a strong crypto market in early January driven by fund inflows is what he said Alex Truman said, but it didn't happen. So, what's really interesting to me in this article is, Mike Novogratz is kind of saying, like, it's going to be based on what the stock market does. It's going to be based on what the Fed does. He doesn't really give like a lot of good reasoning, I think, for, this really super bearish article here. It's going to be a very difficult year. We're in the middle of the difficult year right now. I mean, it's the beginning.
I was going to say,
we're already here. Like, it's happening, so.
One reasoning for being a super bearish take is to give him more time to accumulate.
Yeah. Well, definitely could be true. U.S. Federal Reserve is making some analysts bullish on Bitcoin again. So, signs of a steady Bitcoin price recovery emerged earlier this week as investors shifted away from the U.S. dollar on weaker than expected economic data. In detail, the drop below 33K was met with a healthy buying sentiment, pushed its per token rate as high as $39,300 as of February 1st. As of Thursday, it dipped below 37, but still up 13% from its local bottom. I mean, that 13% is huge if you got in at that time. The dollar index right now is going, what is overlaid there? DXY versus the Bitcoin price. This must be the Bitcoin price. This must be the, this is the DXY. We're seeing it was strengthening. This is the dollar index versus currencies of the world. Now it's on a downtrend as Bitcoin's on an uptrend. And you can kind of see, like, look, when the dollar was getting stronger, Bitcoin started getting weaker. So there's definitely correlation here. U.S. factory activity, employment drops. This employment thing is insane. I read this article the other day about how part-time work is really easy to find. Full-time work is not that easy to find because a lot of businesses have discovered, wow, we operate better when we have people come in, work a few hours instead of having somebody stay here for a mandatory, 14 hours a day. Let's just open from, instead of, 8 to 10 p.m., 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., let's just open from, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so they're cutting hours like that. This reeks of deflation. These are a lot of the hallmarks that you see the employment market shrinking up when it doesn't seem to make sense. So definitely something to continue watching, with the deflation narrative. BJ gave us a book on deflation. I want to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do a book club, a blockchain book club?
Sure.
And we force each other to read books.
I've talked about doing a book club before.
We make my wife the president.
Sure. Yeah.
She was so cringed when she came on the show the other day. Like, did you like coming on the show? I was so embarrassed. That's what she said. She's great. Fed officials now cautiously hawkish, where the primary catalyst was a steady recovery in the U.S. jobs market, but with lesser than expected ADP readings. They have moved from nearly all talk and little action to 100% hot air. This coming from Preston Pish, founder of Pylon. Fed from Teddy Valley, Fed at max hawkishness, dovish from here. Implications for the dollar. So, are we going to see this reversal? And this is the atom bomb, right? This is the atom bomb for the year, stocks and Bitcoin, right? What happens in March is going to determine the course for the entire year. If the Fed comes out and they raise rates and prices still go up, then they're probably going to force that thing to keep going up for a little bit longer. If we get a big drop, that's a sign it's going to keep dropping because the Fed has already said they're going to do multiple rate hikes. So if they stick to the first one, even at 0.25%, you expect them to probably stick with the other ones as well. You'd agree with that?
Say that again?
I said, were you not listening?
No.
God, it's been so long, TJ.
I've been talking to the chat.
You've been doing better. But what I said is that if the rate hike does come in March, it does happen, even if it's only 0.25%, I would expect the 2 more rate hikes to play out this year.
Yes, I would agree.
So this is the big linchpin. If they back down off of this one, shoot. All cards are off the table. We might not get a rate increase the entire year, for sure. Blame it on Russia and Ukraine. Be ready. That narrative is sitting out there right now.
Which would be extremely bullish if we don't get any rate hikes.
Right.
Yeah.
If we don't get the rate hikes, it's bullish for the short term.
Right.
It's bearish for the overall economy when the bubble pops.
Exactly.
Probably next year. Somebody said I sound bearish. I hope I sound 50-50. That's the way I feel. I really do. pushed in a corner today. I'm still feeling 51%, maybe 52%. I'm feeling more hope that we are going back up. At this point, I think I will be disappointed if we don't go back up and have another run. It just seems like there's just a lot swinging in that direction right now, slowly but surely. If you're an index bottoming out, the sentiment bottoming out, a lot of stuff bottoming out, starting to slowly grind up. So, it doesn't mean that it's definitely going to happen, but I'm leaning slightly now more, slightly. I just want to make sure you guys are prepared if the other scenario does happen, because it's definitely a possibility, a strong possibility.
And one good thing about that, and I think you were touching on it a little bit earlier with the way the drop happens real fast and the recovery is very, very slow. So a lot of times it feels like you're in a bear market a lot longer than you really were.
Oh,
so if we were to get that scenario, the bearish scenario in March, and we do go a lot lower, this was a conversation we were having last night at the office. The good news is we're already the majority halfway through the bear market.
Yeah.
And we could get that thing March, April, May, June could be real painful if it does play out that way. And then it's a slow grind back to new all-time highs. Like you said, 2023, 24, 25 will all be extremely bullish. So,
well, I mean, a lot of people have made the argument that even though the price didn't reflect this, there's a lot of people out there that believe bear market started last May. I don't understand how it makes sense, but Richard Hart said, well, Bitcoin was above the all-time high for literally a couple hours, like one day, went back down. There was only one day if you had bought in at 64K where you would have been in profit, for the year. So, the argument is not about the price. The argument is about the sentiment and the removal of the retail investor from the market. That's really, the argument for a bear market starting then, not necessarily about the price. Look, there's no council. Hedera Hashgraph doesn't have a council to actually determine a bear market or a bull market. This is all conjecture and this is all our opinions, of course. We, generally agree on what those are looking back. But, if that's the case, then, hey, we maybe in May, maybe in a few months, we could bottom out and head back up for the long, long, long term. Because at some point, if we do have another run, we're going to get a giant pullback. But if we've already had the pullback, now you're talking about like, okay, Bitcoin holds 33K. This was the bottom. Maybe it goes back to 30K, somewhere around there. Now you're looking at, okay, well, Bitcoin bottomed at $3,000 approximately in 2018. What did it do after that? So not that far-fetched to think that, that high dollar six-figure Bitcoin, $200,000, $300,000 Bitcoin, could be coming in the next few years. So, and that's the exciting thing. We get so caught up in the here and now, but, thinking about how much money we're all going to have in 10 years from now, just wait till I get to this crypto.com story. I'm chomping at the bit to get to that one. Tax-free crypto. IRS waves white flag in lawsuit over taxability of cryptocurrency staking rewards. Okay, so let me break this down for you. Kind of what happened. I think this article breaks it down pretty good here. There was people who were staking Tezos, okay? And they were told by the IRS they had to pay tax on the staking. I guess staking counts as a transaction, I would think. Mm-hmm. And maybe that was the argument. If you stake as a transaction, you got to pay tax on it. This has been in court for years now, and the IRS lost. And basically, the IRS has now had to say they had to issue a refund. They issued a refund for the tax paid on the staking to these people. It is, hey, these gigantic ads pop up. Joshua and Jessica Jarrett, a Nashville company, received 8,876 Tezos staking rewards. They were worth $9,400 at the time of the receipt. He reported $9,400 as income and paid related taxes. On July 31st, 2020, the couple filed an amended tax return arguing that the staking income shouldn't have been income in the first place. It demanded a basically $4,000 or $3,800 tax refund for the IRS. The couple didn't receive a timely response from the IRS. I think that sentence should go in every single article about the IRS ever, correct? Yeah. In a complaint dated May 21st, 2021, almost the peak in May there, the couple argued that newly created property is taxed. Of course they wanted that refund when Bitcoin tanked from 64K to 50K, right? Couple argue that newly created property is taxed only at the time of sale, not at the time of receipt. For example, if you create a book, you pay taxes only when you sell it, not when you're done authoring it. In response to this, they ordered the IRS, the tax division of the U.S. Department of Justice, ordered the IRS to issue a refund of $3,793 on December 20th of last year. Interestingly, the Jarretts refused to accept the refund because the IRS didn't acknowledge the true reasoning for issuing the refund. I like the Jarretts, man. We should get them on the show. They sound like some heavy hitters here. This reasoning is essential to create a precedent for other stakers and protect himself from IRS scrutiny in the future. So this is what we call precedent, folks. This is what we call precedent. This is when we now have a ruling that goes in opposition of what a lot of people paid in. So a lot of refunds will probably be coming soon. I assume a lot of people probably had this issue. Now, we probably have this issue too, I would think, with our iOS team. Probably.
We run a lot of nodes. So.
Yeah.
Technically, it's considered almost like passive income, kind of like real estate, like rental income. Yeah. So there's a lot of gray areas when it comes to taxes and reporting and all this kind of stuff.
Should have worn a shirt under this hoodie.
Uh-oh.
Burn it up over here. A hot tea may not be making it better. All right. So anyways, this is a big story, guys. Pretty cool. All right, let's get into this. Okay. The biggest Shiller, Matt Damon. We'll read the article in a second. Here is the actual guy that wrote this, Jody Rosen. Jody Rosen. He wrote about that Matt Damon ad and crypto's predatory hard sell. Why is Matt Damon shilling for crypto? You would be surprised to know that many people previous to this held Matt Damon to the high level of esteem that they hold the Pope or the President of the United States or any person out there that you would think people would look up to. Matt Damon is in that same vein. The things that regular people say about actors that they've never met, I got a different perspective of it these days for sure. But I made this tweet here, and this is what I said. If you want to find out the temperature of the general public on crypto, read the comments on this joke of an article. People believe government is good and has your best interest at heart. Meanwhile, crypto is only used by criminals. Cash dwarfs crypto in money laundering. Remember that. Cash is like 99% of the world's money laundering, right? Crypto is like maybe 1%. Less at this point, just based on the amount of decrease over year, we should be looking at about 0.1% of all crypto transactions being for nefarious purpose at this point. I believe in 2019, it was 0.25%. It was 2% in 2017. Smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Cash, meanwhile, always blowing up. I mean, hey, they're printing more of it. You got to launder more of it, right? All right, let's look at this article. Let me log in here. I got to log in. I actually signed up for the New York Times just so I could do this, because that's how much this article tickled my fancy. I've been thinking about this all morning. Why is Matt Damon shilling for crypto? Just buy it, he seems to suggest. What are you, a wimp? Man, I tell you what, Jody Rosen, that guy, I would be terrified of that guy. He looks like a very, very scary person himself. History, Matt Damon says, is filled with almosts. He's got a point. He's in a cavernous gallery space, delivering lines that almost make sense with an effect that almost seems human. He says down here, this is from the crypto.com ad, what he's referencing. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out. You've probably seen it on TV. The language has a ripe flavor. How pretentious is this guy? Like, I can't even. I guess it's better than the crypto news media that has typos in every article. But the language has a ripe flavor that is normally confined to halftime pep talks and voiceovers and History Channel documentaries. But we are watching a commercial. Like, advertisers don't put a lot of work into commercials. It's just a commercial for the Super Bowl. $1 million ad. You know, I think they're probably going to put a lot into it. As he speaks, a camera tracks his progress through a so-called museum of bravery. Apparitions appear, primitive flying machines, icy peaks, astronauts. In these moments of truth, these men and women, these mere mortals, just like you and me, I myself also a mere mortal, as they peer over the edge, they calm their mind and steel their nerves with 4 simple words that have been whispered by the intrepid since the time of the Romans. Fortune favors the brave. And I'm here to tell you, fortune does favor the brave. I risked my entire life and existence on crypto. I did. I sold my house to live off that money for 2 years so I could build a YouTube channel from nothing. That's how much I believed in crypto. I invested everything I had. My family as well had to be in support of that. And guess what? Fortune favors the bold, or the brave in this case. I like bold better. I like bold. We have a shirt that says that. This is heady stuff. The CGI effects are top notch, yada, yada, yada. But what exactly is Damon pitching? A self-driving car? Erectile dysfunction pills? The Martian 2, starring Matt Damon. The questions hover ominously through nearly all 60 seconds. It's only in the final shot as Damon turns his gaze from the camera to stare out a window at what appears to be Yes Mars, that a logo flashes on screen and the product on offer is revealed. Crypto.com. You know what's so funny about this is every commercial that's on, you're looking at your phone. That's what people do if they have to watch commercials. They just go straight to their phone. You never actually know what they're advertising. You know, I'd say this is like, at the end, they'll show a graphic. That's generally what they do. You'll be sitting there and you'll be like, oh, I've heard this commercial a million times. I didn't even know what they were selling because you had never looked up from your phone. But we're used to hard sells from advertisements, but few are as audacious as this one, which suggests the act of clicking on crypto.com, an app that can be used to trade Bitcoin, is a feat equivalent to inventing the airplane.
This is ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you this. Most of y'all aren't going to invent an airplane. You're not going to invent something as great as an airplane, but you can all invest in crypto. People that do it over time make money. The stats prove that. They bear that out. Long term, you win in crypto. It's not the same as sports betting, which they try to compare it to here in a second. It began airing in October. In recent weeks, it went viral online, where it received the response reserved for especially flagrant pieces of, to use the preferred term, cringe. I can't stand this word cringe, to be honest with you. I think it's so dumb that like whatever group of people, like whatever age group, would just decide like, this emoji is cringe now. It's because your life, you're embarrassed by it. That's what cringe is. It's secondhand embarrassment. So you're already on this point of just like being embarrassed all the time because you're miserable, and you got to say things are cringe. Crypto YouTubers are cringe. Oh my gosh. Somebody has the audacity to get out and make videos every day and try to help you, but it's so cringe. Yeah, the people that say that, they've got nothing going for them. Okay. Now, look, there are certainly things in the world we probably all agree, you know, are cringe. They become gigantic memes. This is not one of those things. Okay. In the press, on social media, commenters mocked Damon's zombie-like presence and assailed the ad as shameless for implying that glory awaits those bold enough to gamble their savings in a volatile, unregulated market. This guy is really something, you know. I would love to hear him debate the Bitcoin maxi guy. That would be really funny. For many, the ad may be simply baffling. Most people remain fuzzy about what it is. They go into a little bit about, crypto.com, how it started. The burden has been placed on the beefy shoulders of Matt Damon, who crypto.com hired as a brand ambassador. Then they talk about other people who have done it. There's something unseemly, to put it mildly, about the famous and fabulously wealthy urging crypto on their fans. What about Jennifer Garner? Can we go back to Jennifer Garner? Okay, I like Jennifer Garner. Another personal concern. Capital One. I don't know why she's the only spokesperson I can ever think of. Do you not think people have been wrecked with credit cards?
Yeah.
What do you think has wrecked more people? Credit cards or crypto?
Credit cards by a long
shot. But you don't see him coming down on that. You don't see him talking about the stock. He even says stock market's totally different than investing in crypto. Totally different. In crypto, you're not actually receiving anything real from it. Take your stock shares and go try to get your corner office at Tesla. Try to do that. Now try to take your Ethereum tokens and put them to use on the network. Tell me which ones you own.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about this one? That was a good point. What about the reverse mortgage people? You see those ads like crazy. That's taking advantage of people like left and right.
That's gouging.
Yeah.
Especially. I mean, it's older couples they go after. I love this part too. We're going to spend a little bit longer on this. This is so ridiculous. This is the highlight of the year so far for me. This article. In many cases, not so much currencies as speculative thingamabobs. Thank you, Ariel. We appreciate your service. Digital tokens whose value is predicated largely on the idea that someone will take them off your hands at a higher price than it costs you to acquire them. Not different than stocks, right? Not different at all. That's the value basis of a stock. What someone else will buy it for from you. That's how all markets work. This guy needs to stick to doing reviews of operas. I think he would be great at that, really and truly. Entertainers and athletes have ample money to risk in speculative bubbles. Remember this, making money in investing is only already for the rich. That's what that communicates. This is what he's telling you. Celebrities are gonna make money, but the average person, I was living in a tiny little rental house, could barely survive, driving a Kia that we barely qualified for. And look where I'm at now, right? And nothing. Down to the last dollar at certain times, okay? Many people out there have these stories, okay? Then they talk about, Ethereum Max, which was definitely a bad thing. The crypto industry market's efforts are focused on young people. I thought this was an interesting stat. Surveys have shown that some 40% of all American men aged 18 to 29 have invested or traded in some form of crypto. He offers this kind of appeal to that demographic. His star power is based on brains and brawn. I tell you what, I love the Matt Damon poster in my room. Blah, 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 blah. I got to read this whole sentence. He can recite magniloquent phrases while also giving the impression that he could fillet an enemy, Jason Bourne style, armed with only a big pen.
What the?
In the ad, his words are high flown. All that stuff about history and bravery, but they amount to a macho taunt. If you're a real man, you'll buy crypto. If you're a real man, that's the message. This is the world we live in, where people extract meaning out, any meaning that they want out of anything. The bleakness of that pitch is startling. And then they go to talk a little bit about, how Crypto.com's got ads on TV. Let's see. We've sanctioned an economy. Here it is. I could not shake the feeling that culture has taken a sinister turn, that we've sanctioned an economy in which tech startups compete in broad daylight to lure the vulnerable with get-rich-quick schemes. That's because, of course, we tell you, hey, just get in crypto for 2 months and you'll be able to do everything you ever wanted to do. We don't tell you it's a long-term game here. Weird. Let's see. I mean, this is comedy gold.
Who's the publication that?
New York Times.
Yeah.
And if you think about the type of person that reads the New York Times, which direction that whole thing is slanted in heavily, I'm telling you, this political battle of crypto, Bitcoin is alt-right. It's coming.
Well, what I was curious about, we looked yesterday at something from Binance, basically slamming Crypto.com for their ad. I was wondering if this maybe could, who owns this media, the DCG, basically.
Who owns the New York Times? People will know that. Somebody bought them, I believe.
Yeah, if we follow that money trail, something
Absolutely.
tells me you'll find connections to Coinbase and FTX.
Well, where is the world's most anti force against crypto? Same
New York.
city, right? New York, Wall Street,
The financial capital of the United
financial
States.
capital of the world.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Who also has the most to lose in crypto, by the way? New York City. Financial.
Crypto has sex appeal because two people were in a dance club. I'll tell you, I own crypto and I've had sex. So I guess there might be something to that. We live in troubled times. Here's Jerry Springer's final thoughts from this guy, or Jerry Springer's son. He's embarrassed to have had. We live in troubled times. The young, in particular, may feel that they are peering over the edge economically and existentially. This ad's message for them seems to be that the social compact is ruptured, that the old ideals of security and the good life no longer pertain. What's left are moonshots, big swings, high-stake gambles. You might bet a long-shot parlay or take a flyer on Dogecoin. Maybe someday you'll hitch a ride on Elon Musk's shuttle bus to the red planet. The ad holds out the promise of fortune. This was the best part of the whole thing. But what it's really selling, what Crypto.com is selling, is danger, the dark and desperate thrills of precarity itself. Oh, the irony. Because after all, what else have we got? You could call it truth in advertising. This is the exact kind of person the New York Times loves, I'm sure of it. And then if you go down to the comments, like I was really like sitting in my bed this morning, reading these comments, and I really was thinking, like, man, I can't possibly show you all the comments I wanted to show you because I was reading them for like 45 minutes. When I think of Matt Damon or see an ad for one of his movies, I will now think, I'm not giving that greedy fraud of a human being a penny of my money. What Damon should have done instead of falling off the cliff of respectability is donate some of his millions to his union so that thousands of other union members, including scores that appeared in his movies, didn't lose their health insurance. Wow. Well said, Joe from New York. Let's see here. This is Andy W. in Chicago. Crypto is selling an illusion of independence and self-control the same way gun manufacturers sell millions of assault weapons. They're targeting the identical demographic. Bitcoin is alt-right. Bitcoin is alt-right. Remember, you're only hearing that on this channel. I'm telling you guys, that is where this is heading to. You're starting to see the movements. You're starting to see it left and right. Where the ratio, they are targeting the identical demographic, where the ratio of testosterone, intelligence, and maturity is most out of whack. Both are dueling for the title of most massively money-wasting, society-damaging hobby of the 21st century. They equally play on libertarian extremism. Libertarian extremism. I don't think that's possible. The desire to assert one's self-importance over the needs and worth of society both generate addictive and seductive fantasy bubbles born out of social maladjustment and paranoia, further amplified to dangerous levels by greedy profiteers. Profiteers, people that make money. Thank you, Andy from Chicago. Let's see. Let's see here. Why does a currency need to advertise? Here we go. Why does a currency need to advertise, right? These are the type of questions you get from people that have no clue about crypto. The funny thing is, in so many of these comments, they get deep into why crypto is bad. And really, what they're doing is making the exact argument for all the reasons why it's great.
Why we need it.
Why we need it. Like, one guy, the comment was like, why do we need this kind of money? We already have our money and it works fine. It works fine. Our U.S. financial system right now is working fine. Who is that? Zero X Obsidian says they're coming for all of us anyone who is a free thinker or individual.
Think Joe Rogan.
Think Joe Rogan. Absolutely. They're coming after him hot and heavy. I think he's eventually going to get pulled from Spotify. I think it may be what he wants. I think he would, right now, I guarantee he would love to be out of that deal. The Spotify CEO came out and said, we're just going to put a warning label on, anything that talks about the pandemic and a content advisory warning. Like someone giving you an opinion about, a jab. Is that triggering that people have to be warned ahead of time that it's even going to be discussed? They think you're stupid. Keep going back to that. They think you are an idiot. They think you cannot consume content and think for yourself. You must be told the right way to think, or you will end up sad, desperate, poor, and lonely, like me and Joe Rogan. Let's see here. There are just so many of these. They come in, they're out of order from what I saw this morning. Matt Damon now seems exactly like the kind of guy Will Hunting would have railed against. What? The outrage to Matt Damon is like a total sidebar of this. It's a total sidebar. The thoughts about crypto are one thing, but the crazy things that people are saying about Matt Damon is absolutely, it's horrifying, to be honest with you. I wish I could find one right now. I saw 100 of them this morning. Let's see here. I'd rather be an actor with a moral compass.
It's ridiculous. What kills me is the double standard. That's why I was wondering where it was coming from. Because like you said, like, this is how all ads are run in the Super Bowl. Like, what's the Doritos commercials are always hilarious. They have nothing to do with Doritos, and at the end you'll see a Dorito, or it's just ridiculous to say brands can't have spokespeople for anything that has to do with crypto. And I think you hit the nail on the head with saying this is coming from New York City, New York Times. It's just an attack on crypto. It's amazing to me that they made this whole thing about the way the ad was done, because to me, I thought it was a pretty well done ad. There wasn't really anything that riveting about it.
Oh, here's our favorite kind of person, the pretentious financial advisor. As a financial advisor, I have to be licensed to use those words to sell anything to a client, let alone garbage like that. Why does he get away with it? Perhaps there's a disclaimer so small it can't be seen with the naked eye. I have the degree and the power and the license, even though all information is free on the internet for any person to consume. You must go to college to be smart about money. You must be willing to take hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt in order to learn a very important lesson about finance.
Which is think like us.
It's just, I am to the point, I'm turning heel, okay? I'm just at the point, I'm just sick of this stuff. I'm so fed up with people out there that are low IQ sheeple that all they can do is just regurgitate what the media tells them to think and tells them to say. Especially things, the things that are the most dangerous are the ones that make people feel self-important. I am a financial advisor. Don't you understand my power? I've been told that I am the only person who can possibly know about this. Just imagine how these people, like that, not all financial advisors are bad, of course, but just imagine how people like that treat their clients, Like, they must be sitting there the whole time like, God, this guy's an idiot. He's a CEO, but he doesn't have a financial degree. Okay, he has a business degree. What an idiot over here. That's what all these people think.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought Ben Affleck would look like the sensible one? Let's see here. Big Matt Damon fan. He should be ashamed of himself. Oh, you'd think he already has plenty of money. I wish I could just find one of these really, really, really great ones real quick, and then I'll move on. I lost all respect for Matt Damon. It's like they were like Matt Damon was like their family nanny or something. Guys, you don't know Matt Damon. You don't know him. You know me a lot more than you know Matt Damon. You know why? I play myself. The actors, they play roles. It's really hard to get a gauge on who these people even are, because you only see them by their characters and maybe a red carpet interview and a media run every once in a while. So, okay. All right. Well, I'll move on. You're highlighting for people to move on.
Well, a lot of people are asking.
I could talk about this for another hour. I'll be honest with you. I will move on, and we'll just hit this other stuff real quick. Meta's Metaverse division, Reality Labs, reports more than $10 billion loss for 2021. It's had a huge impact on the Facebook price of the stock or the Meta stock. Guys, maybe this isn't going as right as they thought it was going to go. I mean, they're already losing $10 million. What's the $10 million loss for, Facebook or Meta? Probably not that much in the grand scheme of things, considering they're hoping to ramp things up over the long term.
Yeah.
But the reality division made 10 billion. Did I say million? It's 10 billion in losses.
Right.
Okay, that's actually a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it said million.
It's still small for them, but it's not
10 billion. It's a percent.
Yeah.
They're about $1 trillion company, right?
I think
so. It's about a percent.
Yeah.
So that's pretty significant. So let's see if they had they posted their huge loss on their earnings report. Let's see. The metaverse unit is called Reality Labs. I wonder what
this could be tax harvesting a little bit as well. They could take a big loss on the VR division in order to offset gains in other divisions, and they know it's kind of like research and development.
Well, I wonder what the average Facebook investor feels about them moving to metaverse as well. We already see what people think of crypto. People look at NFTs and metaverse pretty similarly, I would say. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with that price here pretty soon. I wonder what David Marcus is going to do, because he was supposed to be in charge of Diem or Libra. He's their big, blockchain executive. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. Maybe they can integrate some blockchain stuff with this. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Crypto Quickies. There's just some real quick stories. Shiba loses over 4,000 holders in a week, breaking a 3-month gaining streak. Wormhole confirms all $320 million in funds have been restored. This is the bridge for Solana. Massive hack. A long saga and a string of stories affecting Solana. Of course, Solana now has a bear flag, possibly painting maybe $50. This could be the case if Bitcoin does go down. I don't think Solana will continue to go down if Bitcoin has bottomed. But, it certainly could. I certainly didn't think that Cardano was going to fall 70% from all-time highs, like an article was saying, around $3, and then sure enough, it happened. So, this definitely could happen. I don't think it will, but, 50-50 definitely could. So, and we already talked about the Ubisoft. Is that right? It's not right. Ubisoft? Is that correct?
I don't know.
Ubisoft? So they are joining the Hedera Hashgraph Governing Council, which is cool. The WWF. Oh gosh, I thought this was
WWF.
I thought this was wrestling.
It's
WWE now. I mean, you grew up as WWF, but the World Wildlife Foundation, which is the reason why the WWF had to change to the WWE, Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment. UK gets backlash over eco-friendly NFTs on Polygon. Hardly any amount. Once again, we see the idiocy of people who don't know anything about crypto trying to explain that Ethereum's chain or a layer 2 on Ethereum is causing all of this gigantic amount of carbon footprint when it's just not. Fake outrage. It is the name of the day. So I think that is all. Yeah, that was all of the stories I had to cover. You want to do a quick Q&A? And guys, I would tell you guys to, if you do, I think it's like I think it was $17 maybe to sign up for New York Times. Look, I certainly don't support the New York Times by any stretch of the imagination, but I like getting, like, I guess, opposing views sometimes on stuff. And there are some interesting articles. It's good to know kind of the sentiment of what people that read that and write their thinking. I see value in that. But what I will tell you, if you do, reading all of the comments on this article will be the most entertaining thing you can do with 2 hours of your time. The very most. I haven't sat and read comments for that long ever on anything I've ever read.
All right, you ready for some Q&A?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's see. Guys, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat now. We'll start with this one from Obsidian on the basement. Do you think we will see Matic under $1 if BTC hits 28K?
Well, the number he throws out there is very important because if it hits 28, that means we've lower load.
Right.
And so unless it's a very quick wick, you know, still I would think even if it is a quick wick, still the momentum will be very strong to continue down. Then yeah, altcoins will get absolutely murdered. I was looking at some old transaction histories, you know, for some of my wallets, and I can tell you, like, there are a lot of coins that were just in 2020 that are down 97%. 97%. There's a lot of them out there that actually are. You know, those would be necessarily projects that, you know, were during the DeFi craze, which didn't extend into the rest of the bull run for everything. But Polygon right now coming in at $1.51. I mean, definitely possible. I mean, I think the $1 could be a strong psychological support. I would look for it to probably go if it hit 28 and that's where it bottomed and it stayed there for a minute. I mean, yeah, I would definitely think Polygon will get pulled down to less than $1.15. You know, maybe not all the way to $1, but yeah. Yeah, I'm going to contact Jeremy Hogan actually after I get off the stream about coming on. Not next week because I'm gone the last half of the week in LA, but maybe the week after that.
Do you have any thoughts on Rubik?
They make a good cube. Make a good cube.
I knew it.
No, I actually don't know anything about that. I don't think it's, what is it? It's not a coin.
Yeah, I think it's a.
Well, it's not a coin gecko.
On CoinMarketCap it came up.
Yeah, okay, it is on CoinMarketCap. Oh, this is what I always talk about when I say coin 796 on CoinMarketCap. That seems to be a regular number I pick. Yeah, I don't know anything about this one. It's an exchange. Looks like an exchange token. Don't know anything about it, so can't really begin to tell you. I mean, chart doesn't look half bad. You know, looks like higher high, higher low over here. So, you know, seems to be in order for another run up possibly.
A couple questions about documentary. I know we're doing those BitBoy specials. Do you have any idea of what one of the first topics is going to be? I know we've got multiple in the works right now.
Well, I think World Economic Forum.
Okay.
World Economic Forum. We're getting to some dicey territory. So, you know, thoughts and prayers. But yeah, so World Economic Forum is going to be definitely one we're going to do. We've got several. We're going to do some on some of the biggest scams in crypto. We're going to do some on what happened in 1971. We're going to get into that in more detail. And maybe we talk about some great reset stuff. Very, very, very interesting. We're going to have, our videos are going to be so good. They're going to be so good. So you guys are the people that are in here every day. We love you guys and we appreciate all the support. So it's only going to get better. All right, guys, that's all we got. You guys make sure on your way out, make sure to smash the like button. I got really overheated ranting and wearing a hoodie in a room that seems to be hot with lights on my face. So I'm going to go sit down for a minute. That's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.